Imagine it's the year 1400. Europe's been through a lot. The Black Death has just wiped out a third of the population. The 100 Years' War is dragging on. And the Middle Ages have been, well, not exactly a TED talk on joy and innovation. But then, in a cluster of rich Italian cities like Florence and Milan, something starts to stir. Merchants are making serious money from trade with the East thanks to spice routes and the Silk Road. With all that gold jingling in their pockets, they decide, instead of just hoarding it, why don't we spend some on art that'll make us look amazing for all eternity? And just like that, Patronage is born. Basically the medieval version of sponsoring your favorite content creator, except your creator is Leonardo da Vinci, and instead of YouTube videos, you get the Mona Lisa. Humanism, the rediscovery of ancient Greek and Roman ideas that put people, not just God, at the center of the story. And here's the secret part. Much of that knowledge was preserved not by Europe, but by Islamic scholars in the Middle East who had translated Greek texts centuries earlier. Those works came back to Europe through trade and the Crusades. Without that, no Plato, no Aristotle, revival, and probably no Renaissance. Before the Renaissance, medieval art was, let's say, flat. Faces looked stiff, saints all had the same expression, and perspective was something you'd get if you turned your head. Then along comes Filippo Brunelleschi, who invents linear perspective. Suddenly paintings have depth, buildings look real, and Jesus doesn't float in a gold background anymore. Michelangelo sculpts David, a 17-foot marble masterpiece that makes everyone rethink what the human body can look like. Leonardo da Vinci paints The Last Supper with the drama of a movie still. Raphael, School of Athens, basically throws a party for history's greatest minds in one giant fresco. Here's another secret. Some Renaissance artists sneaked personal jokes into their work. Michelangelo painted a self-portrait as a flayed skin in the Sistine Chapel, possibly a jab at critics who drove him mad. When artists were revolutionizing beauty, scientists were quietly rewriting reality. Nicholas Copernicus dares to say the Earth isn't the center of the universe, a dangerous opinion when the church ran the cosmic map. Andreas Vesalius starts dissecting bodies, illegally at first, to correct centuries of medical guesswork. And Da Vinci? He's sketching helicopters and tanks in the 1400s, 5 centuries before they exist. The biggest Renaissance hack? The printing press, 1450s. Johannes Gutenberg basically becomes the Steve Jobs of the 15th century, making books affordable. Now ideas travel faster than gossip in a small town. That flood of knowledge fuels education, political change, and yes, some chaos like Martin Luther's Reformation, kicking off a few decades later. By the early 1600s, Europe is shifting into the Baroque era. The Renaissance didn't end because people got bored. It ended because politics, religion, and science kept evolving, but its DNA is still everywhere, in how we think about art, reason, science, and individuality. The Renaissance wasn't just a rebirth, it was the moment humanity looked in the mirror, realized it had spinach in its teeth from the Middle Ages, cleaned up, and decided to aim for the stars.